Hi, my name is Rebecca Carter-Reaves, and I'm a graduate student at Liberty University in the Master's in Mental Health Counseling program. And today I'm going to be presenting my research proposal, Concerns for Late Diagnosis or Misdiagnosis Impacting the Clinical Treatment of Women with Autism Spectrum Disorder. I would like to propose the question: how does misdiagnosis or delayed diagnosis of females with ASD impact global functioning in adolescents and young adult females? All of the literature that I found would suggest that females present very differently in the symptomology of ASD. Therefore, this could account for the significant delays in diagnosis, as well as the misdiagnosis of other comorbid conditions relative to those symptoms. The hypothesis in this case is that early adequate diagnosis of females with ASD would significantly affect the interventions the females would receive, and that would increase the global functioning versus those who received late diagnosis or misdiagnosis. The null hypothesis would state that there would be no difference in the global functioning for females that receive late diagnosis or misdiagnosis versus those who receive early appropriate ASD diagnosis. This research proposal is a single case study. The participants would range in age from 15 to 35. They would be selected from various centers and providers that provide services for individuals with ASD. They would be separated into two groups. One group, ages 6 and under, and the other group, I apologize, one group that have received diagnosis at age 6 or under, and then the other group that received diagnosis above the age of 7 for ASD, or that have symptoms that are clinically significant to an ASD diagnosis but maybe don't rise to the level of the DSM-5 study. The instruments that we will be using in this research proposal is the Symptom Assessment 45 questionnaire, the SA-45, and the purpose of this is to assess for the symptomology that the different groups present with. Also, we will be using the Adaptive Behavioral Assessment System 3rd edition, and this is to assess for the behavioral skills and functioning of the individuals in our study. The proposed statistical analysis, we are going to be using an ordinal data, and that will be converted into t-scores, which we will process with the Pearson correlation coefficients to determine if there is a correlation between late and misdiagnosis and global functioning in our participants, or if indeed there is no correlation between our two variables. So this is my presentation, and I feel like this would be a very significant study in the fact that sometimes people fall between the crack. And in my experience, I have met people, and one of those people is my biological mother. I was adopted, and I believe that she presents with symptoms that would be consistent with autism, but she is in her 70s and has never received a diagnosis of autism. However, she does have many other comorbid diagnoses that she has been diagnosed with since she was in her teenage years, which is why I was placed for adoption. So I feel like the Bible often gives us um, parables and stories to consider. And I like the story of the man that sat by the gate beautiful. And as he sat there and people handed out things to him and gave him alms because they thought that that gave them favor with God. But when Peter come to the man that was lame, that had been carried and set by this gate for years of his life, Peter did not give him alms, but he gave him the freedom to walk. And that story really makes me think that when we see someone that is struggling and in our academic endeavors, maybe we have the opportunity to give somebody those feet to walk. Thank you very much. Thank you for this class and have a great day.